is therefore sustainable for GIPF too. So we have an absolute win-win in this kind of a project.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening, I'm Maggie Forciero. In the news tonight, City of Windhoek warns those living in shacks and riverbeds to move to higher ground. Suicides in Namibia remain high. Local women discovers app for hearing and visually impaired. Over 100 students graduate from Zambezi Vocational Training Center. And Roundup, Business on One, Comments Corner, Sports and the weather. If you are a city resident living in a riverbed or shack, you are encouraged to move to higher ground, as according to the Namibia Meteorological Service, there might be a possibility of flash floods in the coming days, which can be destructive to infrastructure and humans.
The City of Windhoek Communications Officer recently advised city residents and tourists visiting the city to stay away from floods and riverbeds when it rains, adding that the city is in the process of moving those who live in flood-prone areas to higher ground.
We do find at this point in time kids playing in little ponds, but there's no warning stating that there's rainfalls in the mountains. That rainfall doesn't in any way warn that there's a flood coming. So it comes and sweeps whoever is in its way. So that's why I'm cautioning the parents out there, especially going forward as from today, prevent your kids from playing in little ponds, because there's a downward trajectory of rainwater coming from the mountains, and it's going to sweep everything into, whether it's a vehicle, whether it's a pedestrian, whether those living in riverbeds at this point in time should move to higher ground. That is very, very important, and it's something that our agencies, especially our fire brigade, also going out to make sure that everybody is moved to higher ground, in terms of just to prevent them being swept away, those that's in lower parts of the riverbeds. We remember a few years ago what happened with the lady that was swept, especially the child, and we only found the body a few hundred meters away. So we want to prevent that, want to be proactive and make sure that everybody move to higher ground. And those that traveling in cars, make sure that you don't cross a flowing riverbed. Sometimes we underestimate the flow of that river, but it can sweep a car away. And those are trying to cross the riverbeds also rather use alternative routes. And then what I can also advise those in lower parts of where river crosses, take the bags, these sandbags, place them at your yard in order to divert the water flowing into your house. That's one tip that I want to bring down to our residents.
Meanwhile, the homeless in the Tobias Hainyeko constituency say they are still waiting for the city of Windhoek's assistance and are very concerned on where they will take shelter when the rain eventually pours, as they claim to have no other choice but to live at the soccer field.
When it rains like this and the blankets are wet, the kids are getting fever and everything. For them, it's just wait, we are servicing, we are doing this. We have been patient enough for 3 months. What I'm trying to say, I believe that the people who are also our leaders, they are also parents. They are they are fathers, they are brothers, and they are sisters. Are they not feeling us, our cries? Are they not feeling that, or just to feel a little bit of guilty or that messy? At least, really, we are somehow, I don't want to go far, but I'm speechless and I'm getting emotional. I don't understand as an elder, as a parent, how will you feel knowing that the rain today, it was here, and how are those people, are they not asking themselves that question? We are here, and we totally know that municipality, the land of or the land that municipality going to offer to us will be paid. We are not against paying, and we are not here confessing that we don't have or we don't receive anything. When they destroy our shacks there, they destroy shacks that we build, on ourselves, and we buy everything, we buy poles and everything. Some of the things were taken by the contractor that comes and demolished everything. So what we plead here is for land. We need land.
Residents further asked the city and government to come to their aid, as they have been waiting for over 3 months at the soccer field with no sign of assistance. The city of Windhoek therefore further emphasizes that the residents living in low-lying areas must take special care during storms, as sudden floods might affect them. In case of emergencies, members of the public can call the city's 24-hour control room at 061 211 111.
These fantastic mid-month savings only at Clicks until 18 November. Buy Clicks 2-ply toilet paper 18 rolls, $89.99 per pack. Buy Pampers Baby Dry Disposable Nappies Jumbo Pack, 2 for $219.99 per pack and 1 for $241.99. Or buy Lifebuoy Soap 175 grams 3 for $33. Clicks, feel good, pay less.
Despite numerous interventions and creating awareness on the prevention of suicides in the country, the act continues unabated, with 745 people reported to have taken their lives between January 2020 and June 2021, while 1,172 have attempted the act.
No to gender-based death and violence initiator Zachary Itodo is calling for more intervention at community level, with foot soldiers actively acting on suicide prevention. Itodo placed emphasis on the family settings, where he notes that at times parents push their children to committing suicide.
We have learners committing suicide as a result of bullying, drug addiction, alcohol abuse, relationship issues. You find people killing their spouse and committing suicide. It's really worrisome these days, especially amongst learners. We need to speak to parents to stop these abusive languages, hurtful words they use on their children that pushes them. When you make a child feel worthless, the next thing that goes into the heart or mind of that child is, I don't deserve to live anymore. There's nothing worth living for. And that child wants to commit suicide. So at times we as parents, we as relatives, we as guardians, we drive these children into committing suicide. Life skills teachers, what are you doing? Are you monitoring these learners well to notice the behavioral change in them that are signs of suicide? As a life skills teacher or as a class teacher, what are you doing to save the lives of your children? Are you understanding them one-on-one personally to know what they are going through? To notice the change and speak out, or you just feel it's a normal thing? Media is good. You talk to people on radio, you talk to people on TV, but we need more people on ground. We need more foot soldiers who will go into the communities, because in the community, when you are having a one-on-one talk with members of the community, they are able to express their feelings. They are able to give you information. But if you're not there on ground with them one-on-one, you can't get such information. So my suggestion is we should have more foot soldiers flooding the locations.
Itodo further encouraged members of the public that when they have identified a red flag relating to suicide, they should take it serious and seek professional help.
Once you see the red flag or somebody tells you anything about suicide, take it serious. We've had a situation where this guy sent messages to his family members. They went there that night. He said, no, he's fine, nothing's going to happen. They left him. The following morning, he was found hanging. But if the family members had taken it serious, that no, this guy had said this, we are not going to leave him. Let us call for help before it gets out of hand. That life would have been saved. Mm-hmm. If you make a threat of suicide to me, there is no way I would leave you. You end up in the hospital where you can get help to avoid that.
The Jared Brankman organization, which assists with counseling, encourages spiritual intervention and more education on suicide prevention.
People caught up in such situations should consult spiritual leaders that are able to give them information, and not just information, that can also spiritually help them come out of what they're going through. The second thing that we can do is give them information concerning what they're going through, because lack of information can evolve one into committing suicide. So we can educate people that it's not the end of life. There's still a bright future ahead, and information can really help people from committing suicide. And most of the people who attempt to commit suicide are people who have a little bit of information of what they're going through.
After experiencing difficulties understanding assignments and lectures, Pelgrina Ndumba decided enough is enough and designed an app that makes everyday information friendly, not only for the visually impaired, but for those with hearing loss.
ENS, a Connect Africa app.
During her final year at the University of Namibia, Pelgrina Ndumba says she experienced difficulty accessing and understanding research material for her assignments. After talking to some of her classmates with similar challenges, Ndumba thought of an idea for a mobile application that helps people with hearing, vision or speech disabilities.
Like when I was in my final year at the University of Namibia, I really had challenges accessing information that was not available in Braille. Like the only information with regard to my study that I had access to was the study guides. And the study guides did not have all information. So sometimes you are in a class, a lecturer will tell you, go to the library, go get this book and that book. Now, for me as someone with a visual impairment, I was not able to access those books because they are not in Braille, and I didn't have any application that could assist me read those books. And then as a result, I did not perform to the best of my ability due to I not having access to the right amount of information. So now I'm like, oh, This cannot continue. We have to do something.
There are at least more than 5 applications for people with hearing, vision or speech disabilities in the world. However, according to Pelgrina Ndumba's guide and design partner, this will be the first in Namibia amongst a few in Africa.
Connect Africa application, it's an app that enables all the visual and hearing impaired community to access information, communicate and run their own business independently. For examples, on a hearing impaired, currently a hearing impaired depends on sign language interpreters. So in sign language interpreter, they are not enough in the country. So they can, with the Connect Africa, they can able to attend seminars, workshops, just on their own. The app translates speech into print and vice versa, and they can also go to hospitals and also schools just on their own.
Work on the Connect Africa app began in 2019. The designers say the prototype was impressive enough to have several organizations, including the Ministry of Higher Education amongst others, jump on board. Nangombe expects the final product to be ready either at the end of November or early December 2021.
It's abandonment issues.
Is moontlik?
Ons moeite met die sprokies. Ek probeer so hard om my kind gelukkig te maak, maar ek kry dit nie reg nie.
Probeer net help, dis al.
Jy doen niks sonder bymotiewe nie.
So jy hou van die tattoo?
Nee. Maar jy kan nie liefde koop nie. En beslis nie myne nie.
Jy regular.
Am I that predictable?
Jy is 'n gereelde klant en ons net so 'n manier om koffie te drink.
How do you like your coffee?
Gewoonlik swart sonder suiker.
Does black and bitter only pertain to your coffee preference?
Ek hou maar net van my koffie sonder melk. Hoe gaan ek 'n bal raak slaan na 2 glase wyn?
That was part of my plan.
Wat? Om 'n tipsy te maak sodat jy kan wen.
I'm terrible at papa.
The Zambezi Vocational Training Center, based in the vibrant town of Katima Mulilo, has introduced agriculture as one of the courses at the center, which was officially inaugurated by the governor of the Zambezi region, Honorable Lawrence Sampofu. Rodney Vezeveti, who is one of the main trainers at the facility, shares with Agri on One what they do during training and how the skills and knowledge can contribute to the country's agricultural sector.
Rodney, who is a specialized trainer in farm machinery and infrastructure, level 3, took us on a tour around the campus to show us the different types of machines and infrastructure they use, as well as additional skills taught at the center.
So what we are doing here, basically we are just training the trainees now on how to be competent on working with the things that they are working on, like operating the implements, pitching the implements, connecting pipes on the fields there, plowing, planting, all those kind of things. They have to be able to be doing these things using the equipments now, or the implements that we have in the workshop there. So we have to train them these things for them to be competent in doing these things now. It's not just a matter of more theory kind, but they have to do it more practical wise now. They just don't have to know it in the head, but they have to be able to be hands-on. They have to use their hand to be able to master these things now. So that's what we are trying to install in them, and then at least they can be competent in operating these things, and then at least when they go out to do their own production and stuff like that, at least then they know how to be able to do these kind of things now.
We also had the pleasure to meet one of the former students, Clement Mukumbi, the head of production at the center.
We planted cabbages on this plot. We were having almost 6,000 plants of cabbages on the same plot. We managed to make almost 50,000 on these small portions. We sold it this year. I may say 2 months back. Then after that is when we planted this one. On the same irrigation. So we are trying to see whether drip irrigation can work nicely. And the better of it does not require a lot of pressure. But with low pressure, it can still work, as you see our maize. We don't have impact sprinklers. Like last year we were having maize on some other plots using impact sprinklers. Some other areas were receiving water, the other areas just was dry. So the harvest was very poor. But for this year, we can promise that we'll have more maize under drip irrigation.
The students produce products which the center sells to the supermarkets and to the local community. A total number of 137 students graduated from the center so far.
Early this morning, woke up holding my head, hearing my heartbeat all night long. Shades of this motel keeping me in bed, reading the news, just trying to stay strong. I need to just get up, take a deep breath, keep it together, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Sun on my face, feeling okay. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day.
In other leading stories, Paratus Namibia and Ongos Connect signed a commercial connectivity agreement confirming that Paratus will be the technology infrastructure partner to bring fiber connectivity to over 11,000 new residents in Ongos Valley, Namibia's first smart city development. The agreement is a conclusion of a 2-year planning process during which time Paratus has been working on building the infrastructure to provide the necessary fiber connectivity for residents. As part of the agreement, all Ongos Valley residents will receive 1 gigabyte free data per month for the first 5 years of residence. And the SPCA recently hosted its annual fundraiser, Animals by Night, a fun evening bringing animal lovers, sponsors and talented Namibian artists together in aid of the animals at the SPCA. At the occasion, Hannah Roden, director of the SPCA in Windhoek, thanked FNB Namibia for their generous donation of 100,000 Namibia dollars to the SPCA Windhoek's Dixie Fund. She explained that the Dixie's fund was specifically dedicated to the ordinary and extraordinary medical and veterinary treatment and interventions that the animals at the SPCA so desperately need. Ravonia Kahivere, first Rand Namibia's CSI manager in turn, expressed her appreciation towards work done by the SPCA. Kahivere added that the companionship of animals and the positive influence they have on people has become even more obvious since the outbreak of the pandemic, as COVID-19 enforced isolation and segregation from normal life, as well as long stretches working from home when the pandemic was at its peak.
Joseph Shufeni is standing by for this evening's edition of Business on One.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. I'm your host, Joseph Shifeni. The Public Service Union of Namibia has described the ongoing talks between government and civil servant representatives as mock negotiations, as it does not provide for salary increments in the national budget. The union also called on trade organizations that are currently at the negotiating table to step aside, as they have not been effective in their role as bargaining bodies.
According to the Public Service Union of Namibia, public servants have not received a salary hike in years. A proposal of 10% increment by Nantu and Napu across the board was rejected by government this year, citing that it is in no condition to grant such an expenditure as public revenue has been reduced significantly due to the economic decline. The PSUN said for other trade unions to accept a 0% increment is unacceptable.
We are calling upon these unions to stop with their mock negotiations and start with real negotiations, or they must step aside to allow those who are serious enough to conduct negotiations to do so. Otherwise, the civil servants will act. We should not forget our history lessons too soon. We all remember 2012. The strike was illegal, but it was a necessary progressional course of action. We understand that Nantu Napu submitted a proposal to the government. The government, noting the request for mock negotiations, obviously indicated that there is no money. Then everybody went to sleep. These unions woke up one day hearing the Minister of Finance, Honorable Shimi, thanking them for accepting a 0% increment on salaries and other conditions of service for civil servants in Parliament. And suddenly, you saw last week, they started engaging in face-saving measures. What a blunder.
Akuria also questioned why the Minister of Finance, Ipumbushimi, failed to prioritize the salary increment for civil servants in the 2021-2022 national budget, adding that such a move will contribute toward economic growth.
The key question we should be asking ourselves is it possible that the key ministry, when it comes to improving or providing a guideline as to how much can be given for salary increment, where do we decrease, where do we increase? The key ministry here is the Ministry of Finance. So the question we are asking is it possible that the key ministry, which is the Ministry of Finance, will not be aware of any collective bargaining process as far as salary increment and improvement of conditions of service of civil servants are concerned? For Honorable Chimi not to budget for such components, or whom and who is Nantu Napu fooling? Wage-led growth leads to increased productivity in the economy. It leads to demand growth. You will have wage-led recovery. This is simple economics that the Minister of Finance understands very well, and that everybody else should understand. You need to put money in the pockets of people for them to be able to spend, so that you can have circulation in your economy. So moving away from salary increments is a step in the wrong direction.
Napu and Nantu are set to meet the government later this month to resume negotiations regarding this matter. Going forward, Hakuria said the proposed increment will be achieved come 2022 as they have a program in place to ensure that it does.
And that is all we have for you. To follow us on our social media pages for more on the business front.
Are you a CMAS member? Did you know that should you need medical treatment, you have access to quality private hospitalization, guaranteed specialist treatment in private hospitals across Namibia with Compliment Gap? Compliment Gap is a complimentary product for CMAS members only, which covers the shortfall between what CMAS pays and private hospitals charge. You and your family have more than 2 million in medical gap cover per year at a very affordable price. That's not all. You also have access to emergency evacuation within Namibia and $10 million international travel cover for those unforeseen events abroad. Take the financial burden off your shoulders. Invest in your family's health. SMS GAP to 999 555 and we'll contact you. Terms and conditions apply.
Dear teachers, we know all the hard work you put in every day to make sure our kids get the best education possible. It's also our goal here at One Africa TV's #LearnOn1. That's why we bring free quality supplementary lessons that are 100% Namibian, complements of NMH's MyZone. Lessons include early childhood development programs and primary school lessons. These air on One Africa TV every weekday from 9 to 11 a.m. with repeats from 2 to 4 p.m. There's so much to learn with #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
Time now for Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. The Althaven Analyst Group announced that South African Heineken International has acquired over 50% shareholding in Namibia Breweries Limited. Old Harbour Analyst Executive Chairman Sven Timmer says the move gives the iconic local brand access to the global market under the wings of an international giant and assures the public that this is not a goodbye. Zulu congratulated O&L, adding that it will definitely create employment opportunities. Stanley says he wants to see figures. And a truck driver employed at Namib Mills, Walvis Bay, feels humiliated after his supervisor ordered him to be lifted on top of a truck without protective gear or equipment to clean it. The supervisor filmed the ordeal with his cell phone as other employees looked on. MK says it's unacceptable, adding that she hopes he gets a good lawyer. Christina and Simon says it's pure bullying. While in colour notes that the Labour Act is too lenient towards employers. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast only on Today on One.
Oranjemund, established in 1936, from which point onwards CDM, now Namdeb Diamond Corporation, provided every service, the schooling, infrastructure and entertainment required for the people of the town. The winds of change is blowing over Oranjemund, which is no longer a closed town.
So this ship was commandeered by King Charles III, and he actually sent a knight to Spain to go and fetch some money from investors, because they wanted to go and fetch some spices in India.
When we were kids, the mine delivered milk, bread, and black paper, black plastic bags for your rubbish, and cleaned your garden, did the maintenance of your house. You had furniture already installed in your house.
One Africa TV, happy birthday to you. Just sending a great, big, humongous thank you for the content that you give us, for the local authenticness of seeing our own very own faces on TV. Most we are within. And more than anything, always making sure that, you know, you share with us and with the world, the royal hustlers, the ones that made it, and we drink from their well. And that more than anything is what I really, really appreciate about One Africa TV. So happy 18th birthday. You're finally legal now. Happy birthday to you, and many more to come.
Let's cross over to Castro Ulumbu for this evening's edition of Sports on One.
Welcome to Sports on One. I am your host, Castro Ulumbu. This past weekend saw match day 4 action of the Express Credit Futsal League, which started on Friday the 15th of October. Match day 4 hosted 9 matches on the day. Today on One Sports has more on this story. Some challenges faced by Futsal Namibia is to teach the players the rules of the game, seeing the fact that it is a newly introduced sport in the country. But according to Futsal Namibia League Director Absai Simon, he is happy with how the players are adapting to the game, further expressing excitement towards the league.
The Express Credit League right now, it's 3 weeks in, and we're very excited, and it's been a whole big excitement. We've got the team from Swakop, which is giving these guys from win the big competition, and the ladies teams, it's even wonderful. But I'll urge you guys to come and watch for yourself and just come and enjoy the games with us. So far, not a lot of challenges that we are facing. We're facing rules, because most of the people are used to 11-a-side, but as we go step by step, the people are getting into the game and getting to know futsal, and so it's been amazing feedback. Like, it's crazy. Some people don't want to play 11-a-side anymore. They want to come back to futsal. They want to join futsal. But yeah, we're encouraging a lot of people just to play futsal and then put that impact into the 11-a-side games. And the under-17s, whoa, also amazing.
2020-2021 Futsal League Social Division defending champions X-Men on the day faced New Boys from the Coast, Seleção. X-Men needed the third and fourth quarter of the game to defeat a solid, skilled Seleção side who dominated the first 2 quarters of the game. The Commasdal-based outfit went on to win the game 4-2. Jaden Walters spoke to Sports on One about the 3 weeks in the league so far as he applauded Futsal Namibia for organizing the Futsal League.
This league is very competitive. Like from the change from last year to this year, the change has been tremendous with more teams being competitive and willing to win. We are actually the champions from last year, so we are champions coming into this league, trying to win it again. I must say I have to take hats down to Futsal Namibia for giving us this opportunity, especially through futsal soccer not being dormant in Namibia for the last couple of years. Futsal Namibia making it very again possible this year for us to participate and introducing very much competitive teams. From my team side, I would like to say that we are happy to participate. Just to play here weekends in is an honor, and I feel my team that we like to be here because the atmosphere is tremendous. There's crowd and everyone wants to see us play again, and I wouldn't want my club to die just here. 2 leagues and we're done. We are here to compete and stay. It's a consistent team. We are consistent and we are based off the community. We're from Commasdal. We all stay right next to each other. We're neighbors basically. So I think the love for the soccer and the team will never die because we grew it from nothing to what we are right now. And I think for the next few years we will be here competing.
Other results on the day saw victories from Windhoek North FC beating Chile FC 11-5, SBS Trucking beat SKW 8-5, Leopardo FC beat WSS 8-2, and Sokomund-based outfit Seleção winning their second game of the day 5-4 against Patriots after a defeat by X-Men. In the ladies category, Yunnan Bokis 2 lost against Rightway Phoenixes 11-2, whilst Rainblaze 2 beat V-Power Angels 8-3 and Rainblaze 1 beat Yunnan Bokis 1 7-2. Defending champions of the ladies division, Tura Magic Ladies FC lead the pecking order with 6 points and 1 less game played, followed by Rightway Phoenixes and Rainblaze 2 both on 6 points with 1 more game played. In the men's division, Group A is headed by Sokomund-based side Seleção with 9 points, followed by X-Men with 7 points. Group B is led by SBS Trucking leading with 7 points, followed by Windhoek North Futsal with 6 points. And that is all we have for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow for Sports on One, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages.
Thanks a lot, Castro, for the latest in sports. Time now for the weather forecast.
And now a look at the weather forecast. But first, an advisory from the Windhoek Met Office. Significant cooling is expected in the south and east on Thursday. The interior will be sunny and very hot in the west and hard-up region. Elsewhere, partly cloudy and hot to very hot with a few showers, but isolated thunder showers in the central north and Omaheke region. The coast will be partly cloudy and mild to warm with showers in the south. And wind will be moderate to fresh southerly. Now let's have a look at the minimum and maximum temperatures in and around the country.
That is all we have for you. Join us again for a repeat at 9:30 and 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and the Omnibus Saturdays from 9 to 2. From me, Maggie Forciero, and the rest of the team, till next time, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
We know the world is a crazy place right now, but don't panic. Take a breath, slow down, or better yet, stop completely. We'll still be here when everything settles down. In this time of uncertainty, look to nature. She has all the answers, you know. We're not only giving ourselves time to reset, we're giving nature time to restore, revive, restart. We're saving ourselves and we're saving the world. Stay home now so that we can welcome you to Namibia again soon. Yes, the world's a crazy place right now, but don't despair. Find the joy, cherish hope, breathe. Take a moment, take a few, and someday soon you'll once again be able to stare in wonder at this magnificent view. The world's a crazy place right now, but don't worry, we'll still be here. We'll see you again soon.
We're talking about COVID. Babaji, tell us about the day you found out you had COVID.
The day I found out I have COVID. It was a difficult day. I didn't understand how I got COVID because I was always covered, I was always with my hand sanitizer. It came with my wife. And that whole day, I was thinking, what's gonna happen to me? I'm gonna survive. My kids, I was losing my tasting, smelling. There were some days I will test my taste buds and put like 4 or 5 chilies in my coffee. No ways. I didn't taste it.
So did you also lose your appetite in the process?
It was very funny. In the first week, no, I was chowing like I will wake up like midnight and make for me something. But after the first week, then the appetite was gone. When you go to bed, your body is also automatically switching off. And that's a dangerous time for COVID. It's like glass pinching you, cutting you inside your lungs. Then the heart was pumping like a rabbit pumps. You are losing a lot of fluids at night.
Is that through fever or what?
Yeah, it's through fever.
So have you experienced any side effects from having contracted COVID-19?
No, not yet. Maybe still coming, but not yet.
And your wife?
She was complaining about light head. It's an annoying headache. It's light, but it's annoying.
So basically you didn't take any prescribed medicine from the doctor to recover from COVID?
No, I didn't. The only thing I was using is aspirin for my blood not to clot. Because for some people, when your lungs are really, really infected, your blood will start to clot from the lungs, close all the airways. That's where we are passing. I'm smoking cigarette, and when you were a smoker, and COVID in your lungs now.
So then after you found out, you both found out you had COVID, what did you guys do to protect the kids?
The kids move out from the house. The booties will come, then we will collect everything for them and just put for them outside. When they came, just grab the food and go.
So what was the biggest battle for you? Was it mental or physical?
Mentally. Mentally was the biggest battle. I'm actually an international movie maker, and my career was cut off. I couldn't put bread on the table. There were some days we have one meal for the day, then went to bed. And that was hitting me in my mind. What if Blessing get corona now? Where am I gonna go? Who can I help? There were also some people depend on us in the rural areas. We couldn't help them. My future was black, dark, dark, dark. I couldn't even see that small light at the end of the tunnel. One day, my daughter decided, now I want to see my father today. And I just told her, yeah, she can come. The first words was, Daddy, I was praying for you yesterday night. Don't worry, Corona will go back soon. And I was asking, from where? From Namibia? She said, no, not from Namibia, from you. And you are not looking good. And she was actually heartbroken. Until today, she hates Corona. From there, then I was like, oh, okay. If the smallest one is saying this, why am I not picking me up self and do the right thing and get rid of this thing? That's where I started to run, to practice, coming to my quiet place. And actually, the main thing that broke my heart during that time was there was no one. The time of COVID, there was no one.
So can you tell us where we are right now?
We are at my silent place. I call this place my silent place. I will come here when the COVID is hitting me like 120%. Looking at the ocean, then you will hear voices like, no, you don't belong here. Today you don't belong here. Get up and go home. Some days they will nurse you like, no, you will survive. Your future is a bright future. You must not give up now. Think about your kids. Think about the people around you. Even the wind will do that. Actually, you must meditate. The thing of COVID is, looks like COVID is afraid of the warmness and is friends with the coldness. So the whole time you are baking in the sun, it helps a lot.
So is that what you did?
Yeah, I did. I will do that twice a day. This was supposed to be a golden year for me, a very, very good golden year for me, but then COVID decided, no, this is not going to be your golden year. Everything was cancelled. We, the filmmakers, this year, from the international shoots, lost lot of money.
You've lost 3 family members? Is it all due to COVID?
No, not all due to COVID. First one, my sister, she was very close to me. She contracted COVID April, and she was in ICU for 3 months. The COVID damaged her lungs, and at the stage her lungs collapsed and she couldn't breathe without the machines. Her kidneys failed, her liver has failed. COVID is real. First of all, COVID is real. It's not a joke. Most of the people, they fall away from COVID regulations. Still early to fall away from COVID regulations. We must still go in line with those COVID regulations.
And how long did you say it took you to recover?
3 weeks, 21 days.
What must somebody do to change your mind from that negative perspective to that positive?
COVID, no job, it's very dangerous. There was one day I just decided I'm gonna take a rope, go to the jetty, sit around there, and after all I will hang there by the jetty. The time I arrived here there was no wind, out of nowhere. The ocean was like angry, and it started to get cold, and I was like, but it was just nice weather. Then I sat down. Then the universe will talk with you, the wind, the sun, the ocean. That's the main thing of COVID. If you don't save yourself, no one will save you. And we must always appreciate what we have around us. That's the main thing in COVID. If you don't appreciate what you have around you, no, you will lose your head.
Smile, smile, smile. When you walk with me, I just want you to smile, smile.
My industry and what I've done with my hands in Namibia, it's going all over the world, and here you are, Papa G, you want to quit? No. I'm excited for 2021. It's not gonna be the same like 2020 now. I'm making back in the groove.
Give me food, clothes, water, and shelter. Nothing else, no matter. You're my moonlight in my oven. Let all my sins be forgiven. Happiness rain on me. Never let the children cry. Namibia, smile for
On the Gold Coast of West Africa lies the peaceful and diverse nation of Ghana. I'm pretty close right now to the geographical center of the Earth. It is also one of the last pockets for elephants in the wilds of West Africa.
You know, every country in the world just about has cattle, sheep, goats, horses, donkeys, but it's only Africa that has the real megafauna, the charismatic stuff which people in the rest of the world want to see.
The passion that the staff have for the job.
There's value to a bird which brings birders to a place like this. I mean, this is a birding paradise. We see an intrinsic appreciation